Hey there! If you're new to our Instagram or our YouTube, I'm Caitlin Alford and I'm the owner and lead educator here at Lost Artistry Lash. Today I want to walk you through my assessment with my model Antonia as I walk through how to achieve an American Volume Lash Set on my model. It's not quite so easy as to just follow any mapping to develop an American Volume set or any lash set for that matter. We really have to dive into a proper assessment of our client's eye shape, natural lash health, and face shape as well. So today I'm gonna run you through exactly why I'm choosing which curls to suit Antonia in order to give her that crazy, dark, beautiful textured American Volume set that everyone's loving right now. So first, when we begin assessing, we're gonna get our model just to open their eyes and look straight ahead. Just make sure they're not looking from side to side because it can kind of throw off your mapping a little bit and your styling. I would say Antonia has an exotic eye shape. So what that means is that her eye lengthwise is about twice as long or longer, depending on the client, as the actual part of her eye that is open, so the width of her eye. So this is, in lengthwise, twice as long as that width. So what we're gonna do to open that eye up and make it look even bigger and more almond-like, we're going to use stronger curls to lift it up and give it an even more open effect. The curls that you would use for lift and to open would be our more dramatic curls. We could use a CC curl, a D curl, a DD curl, or an L curl for this. And since we're going for an American Volume set today, which you really want a lot of texture, I'm gonna mix all of those curls together. And I really wanna work with those stronger curls. Let's say Antonia didn't have the shape eyes and instead we were just working on just elongating or something. No matter what I was doing for Antonia's lashes, I would wanna work with a stronger curl because if you can see from the top, her lashes kind of already naturally flow down and already a little like obstruct her view a little bit just because they're so long and thick and they are pointing down into her eyes. So if I used a C curl or a B curl or something with less curl for my lashes, it would actually obstruct her view and would not be a good match for her natural lashes. Before we get into our actual before and after shots and our working shots, I just want to quickly run you through how I achieve American Volume sets just in general. Number one, when you're doing any sort of American Volume set, you want to mix curls together. So today I'm working with CC curl, D curl, DD curl, and L curl in our Lost Artistry Lash products. Mostly handmade, but I'm going to mix a little bit of pro-mades and our V-neck fans in there as well. So I'll walk you through how to use those in a little while. But I'm gonna be working with those simply because Antonia has a downward facing natural lash. So we wanna really counteract that and lift the lashes up like we've already explained. But for any other client, you can mix C curl with CC curl or C curl and CC and D, or C and D is actually the most common mixture. And you can mix classic lashes in there as well. Honestly, anything goes when it comes to American Volume. The more different types of fans you can mix together, the more texture you're gonna get. But on average, the type of fan that you're wanting to use are your wider fans. So when you're working with pro fans, you're looking for those short stem fans. When you're working with handmade fans, you're looking for those really wide open fans, whether they be mega volume fans in your 0.03 lashes, or your 0.05 lashes, or your 0.07 or 0.1. Whatever you're using, it has to be those open fans for the majority because that's gonna give you all of that texture that you're wanting for American Volume. Again, you can mix any other fans with it, but you're gonna put lots of those wide fans in there. Number two, you're really gonna wanna mix lots of lengths. So in each section, you're going to use at least 4 lengths. So let's say you can use 10, 11, 12, and 13, or you can go crazy and mix like 10, 12, 14, 16, and there's really no rhyme or rhythm here. The more dramatic length differences you have within the set, the cooler and more textured it's going to look. So you really want to focus on doing a lot of lengths on that top layer, that kind of stair-like effect on that top layer, and then underneath, depending on how dark you want your set to be, you're going to fill it in with those D-curl lashes, and that's going to give you a lot of darkness or lots of shorter lengths on those bottom layers D-curl looks really, really beautiful because it does give you that dark base and then that textured wispy look at the top in your other curls or your mix of curls throughout the rest of it. But having that D-curl on the bottom layer looks beautiful and very dark. And tip number 3, the one thing that I feel is most important, because you're working with such a unique mapping, there's really no consistency in your sections per se. You're still gonna wanna have a shape and have your longest lengths kind of flow to suit your client's eye shape. But when it comes to putting all these lengths in different spots, you really want to focus on working eye to eye, because if you don't, the set can look really unbalanced unintentionally. So if you're working on the inner corner on your right eye, you're doing the exact same lash, exact same fan on the opposite eye so that it really balances the set out. I'm gonna direct up on these outer corners here because Antonia's natural lashes point down. The highest point of her eye is just in the middle of her eye. So if we continue and elongate those out, it's gonna elongate her eye even more. And since she has an exotic, longer eye shape, we're not really looking to elongate, although it doesn't really matter because her eyes are beautiful no matter what. But today I'm gonna work with directing those up because I'm not trying to droop those natural lashes down. So we really don't want to droop the eye, and I'm really nervous if we directed toward the outer corner that we would droop those lashes down on the end, and we want to avoid that for sure. So I've drawn out my mapping. It's nothing special, but you'll notice that I'm hopping 2 millimeters between my section because I'm going for a textured look. I don't want a very consistent end result. So I'm really gonna jump between lengths here. But because I'm working with American Volume, I'm gonna use a whole bunch of lengths throughout each section, but this is just my guidance for what my longest length will be in each section because I still want to have a certain shape all throughout her lashes. And within these sections, I'm gonna have tons of shorter lengths mixed throughout. And again, lots of curls as well. And I do find that between here, just at the end of where the color of her eye is where her lashes really start tilting downward. So over here is where I'm gonna work with a lot of my DD curl and my L curl to give that extra added lift in these areas on both sides.